Hello everyone, and you're welcome back. Today I'm back with another comforting meal. Here in Ghana, the weather is cold, and so anything that will comfort the soul, the heart, and the mind is what we're looking for. Although I know in the US and other places it's summertime, but here it's quite chilly, and so I decided to make this so that my family can enjoy. So put together some cumin, anise seeds, rosemary, peppers, onions, and some garlic. Put that in a blender and blend that up. Wash and clean your chicken and season with some black pepper, of course, and some salt and some nutmeg. Make sure that you do that generously so that everything is coated very well. I always say that just when you think you've seasoned your protein very well, just add just a tiny little bit, because you can't get enough of good seasoning on your meat. The reason being that I always say it is the carcass of an animal, so it has to be seasoned very well, but that's just by the way. Pour over your blended peppers and spices over the chicken. Because there's pepper in there, that's why I'm not putting my hand back in there. But stir it up and make sure that everything is coated well. Again, mix it up and wrap it up and put it in the refrigerator. In a pan, I'm going to cook my rice. So I melted some butter, added in some garlic and some spices. Fry the garlic for a few seconds and add in some parsley, some thyme, and some bay leaves. Ensure that the heat is quite low so that it can fry gently, so that it can release all the aromatics into the oil. Add in about 3 cups of rice. It really depends on the quantity that you are making. It will determine the number of cloves of garlic and the quantity of spices that you would use. But here I used about 4 cloves of garlic and a tablespoon each of the seasoning, of the spices, I usually like my rice quite soft, and so I added in a lot of water so that it boils to perfection. I'm not into hard rice, but if that's what you like, please, by all means, do what you like. Season your rice with some salt and then cover it up and let that boil. After about 20 minutes, I check in on it and it is looking good. All the water has evaporated. And so I stir in all the spices that is floating on the top and make sure that the heat is evenly distributed. And then I cover it up and then I start on my chicken curry. To your heated pan, add in some oil, about half a cup of oil, and bring out your chicken from the fridge. The chicken has soaked up all the juices, all the spices and the seasoning that I added in there, and it's so nice and it smells so good already. To the same pan, add in about 2 tablespoons of curry powder. Make sure that it's authentic curry powder. Some people mistake curry powder for turmeric, but this is just pure curry powder. Heat up the curry powder and then start off by frying your chicken. Ideally, I'd recommend that you fry the chicken in batches, just so that the curry is infused into the chicken, right? Or the chicken is infused by the curry, whichever way, right? But today I actually didn't have time. I had to make lunch because it was a busy day for the family, and so I didn't have much time. So I had to do it this way. So I covered it up and let it boil. I was trying to fry it, but that didn't work. And so because it had a lot of water content, but you can always go with this way too. It doesn't really matter. After boiling for a while, I added in 2 bay leaves, and 1 bouillon cube. So for the vegetables, I was using Irish potatoes, some bell peppers, green bell peppers for that matter, and some carrots, right? You can always go in with broccoli, spinach, whatever it is that really you want, right? But ideally, these are usually the three things that goes with coconut curry. But some people like other things, people are fancy, so they like other things. So I check in on my chicken, and at this point it looks great. I think that it's halfway cooked, and so I'll just let it boil a bit more, and so that most of the water is reduced. After checking in on my chicken, I go back to my vegetables and I keep cutting, just chop away. I just left this part longer because I like the color of my nails on the vegetables. So I added in 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. I love the taste of it, but you can omit it. You can just take it out. Then I'm going to chop up some onions and some tomatoes and blend that up and then add it in. I usually don't like just the tomato puree in there, so I blend it so that it kind of balances it out, right? So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So pour it in. Now the water content is quite high, so I added the coconut milk in there as well so that everything would just cook at the same time. I really didn't have time today, so I had to rush through the recipe, but I'm sure you'd be able to get a hang of it when you're making it. So cover it halfway and let it boil. My veggies look so clean and pretty, and I'm just waiting to put them in my curry. So stir it through and through periodically, just so that everything is distributed evenly. At this point, it had cooked down halfway, so I added in my carrots because it's harder and needs a bit more cooking. So the carrots and the potatoes. You should be in my kitchen right now. The place smells heavenly. The curry, the coconut, the smell of the veggies, the chicken. Oh, it is absolutely delicious. Season it with some salt if you think the salt is low. I wouldn't have added some, but like I said, I had people over, so we were not working with our palates today. We're working with the world's palate today. All right, so I added in my capsicum, or my green bell pepper, sorry. And just let it boil, simmer down, and soften the vegetables up a bit. And so I served my rice, and it's time to serve my curry. It smells so good. The chicken is tender. The veggies have a bite to it, and it was absolutely delicious. This meal is so comforting. I think that in this weather, it's so nice to get cozy, have this yummy and deliciousness in your couch or at the table with a blanket and a show. I think that you'd absolutely love it. Just look at that. Look at the veggies and everything. It smells so good and it tasted amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Please tell me what you think in the comment section after you've tried it. Bye.